Hi dear traders and investors, welcome to the daily market review from analysts and forecasters from FxCo portal. Let's get started. Today's November 30. Will gold fall for the first intradays? The answerer, Marek Petkovic. The external calm often hides internal tension. Despite gold stabilization near 1750 at ounce, we can say the periods of turbulent gold quotes are far beyond. The precious metal paused ahead of Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell's speech and is trying to see if he can do what the other FOMC members failed to do. Can he use hawkish rhetoric to pursue stock indices to fail and the US dollar to strengthening? Both are fundamentally important to gold. As a rule, when evaluating the prospects for gold, the dynamics of the USD index and Treasury bond yields are analyzed. The fall of the first of them below 106 according to Decarly Trading will contribute to the continuation of the peak to 98, raising the quotes of the precious metal significantly higher. Many factors have been already factored into the US dollar, including a 5.25% federal funds rate ceiling and a shallow recession that the US economy will plunge into the second and fourth quarters of 2023, according to Barclays. At the same time, capital flows also affect the value of gold. Queen Anne's Gate Capital says the current rally in gold is due to an outflow of money from the crypto market. In 2020, investors actively interested in ETFs and crypto assets. As a result, specialized exchange-traded funds grew from 80 million ounces to 110 million ounces. But now, they have fallen to 95 million ounces. Many are still underwater, that is, in losses. They will take advantage of the rise in gold and close their positions if ETFs shrink another 20 million ounces. The precious metal will plummet to $1,300 per ounce. The collapse of cryptocurrency broker FTX accelerated the collapse of BTC USD, and money poured into gold, but a stabilization of Bitcoin will reverse the process. However, if the capital outflow from specialized exchange-traded funds stops and the demand for physical assets in Asia starts to fall, the downward trend of gold can be considered broken not only technically, but also fundamentally. The fact is that, in an upward trend, gold tends to flow from the east to the west, and vice versa during downturns, from China and India to the USA and Europe. In the near term, the fate of XAUUSD will be affected by Powell's speech and the US labor market report for November. In technical terms, the 1, 2, 3 pattern can work out in the daily chart of the precious metal. However, for these, quotes must fall below 1725 level, which will be a reason for selling. A fair price break of 1,762 per ounce is more likely to be a reason to buy. The next station is USD-GPY pair. Calm before the storm, reported by Alona Invanitskaya. The dollar-yen pair is passing the time for the second straight session in anticipation of a strong impulse. It can happen right now. The Fed chief's speech should persuade the pair to turn around. The dollar index tested a weekly high on Wednesday during Asian trading before dropping 0.13% to 106.7. The US dollar continues to sway back and forth as market uncertainty about the likelihood of US interest rate increases is out of this world. John Williams, the president of the Federal Reserve Bank of New York, stated on Monday that the central bank must tighten monetary policy more quickly. James Bullard, a colleague from St. Louis, emphasized that interest rates will increase even more the following year. Due to these positive remarks, a rate increase in December is now much more likely by 75 basis points. Although only a few people believed it a few weeks ago, trades now estimate it to be 37%. The dollar, which appeared to have reached the peak of its bullish potential, was revived by escalating hawkish market expectations. The dollar has been able to strengthen recently in nearly all key areas, but not simultaneously with the JPY. The yen, which has suffered more than other currencies this year due to a sharp rate hike in America, is currently holding on to its lost hope that the Fed will soon adopt less hawkish policies with all its might. If the Fed chief emphasizes the need for additional aggressive tightening or makes another hint at a higher level of final rates, the dollar will soar if this happens. Analysts believe that the US JPY asset will become more volatile in the near future. Whatever the Federal Reserve chairman says today will drastically impact the market. The USD JPY pair is currently frozen in anticipation of a clearer signal that should shed light on the future dynamics of interest rates in America. The pair is trading in a very small price range of 138 and 139. According to experts, we are currently observing a strong oversold major, which suggests that a decline to the next support at the level of 137 is unlikely. Only if the USD JPY pair breaks through at roughly 139.60. Regarded as a strong resistance level, will the dollar's bearish momentum finally end? The GBP USD pair on November 30, Powell reports. Yesterday, GBP USD struggled to continue its downward movement after crossing the ascending trend line, but spent the entire day between the Senko Span B and Kijun Sen lines. So technically, we have a bearish correction, but it's very weak and inconclusive. Powell still expects the dollar to significantly strengthen, which would be logical from a technical perspective. Although the pound was not in a classic flat on Tuesday, the character of the movement was such that it would be better for traders not to enter the market on that day. The pair moved between 1.9074 and 1.2007, which is considered a range, but at the same time the price was regularly moving about and below this area. This is why there were plenty of signals, but the pair was never able to approach any of the target levels. The latest commitment of traders report on GBP logged a slight decrease in bearish sentiment. In the given period, the non-commercial group closed 1,900 long positions and 8,800 short positions. Thus, the net position of non-commercial traders increased by 7,000. The net position is gradually growing during the last months, but the sentiment of the big players is still bearish. The pair started moving down on the 1-hour chart, which we have been waiting for. It has crossed the trend line, so the uptrend is officially cancelled. Powell believes that the pound may show a solid decline in the near future, but for now it needs to break through at least the Senko Span B line and hope for support from this week's fundamental background. Senko Span B 1.9030 and Kijun Sen 1.2045 lines may also generate signals. Pullbacks and breakouts through these lines may produce signals as well. A stop-loss order should be set at the break-even point after the price passes 20 pips in the right direction. Shimoku indicator lines may move during the day, which should be taken into account when determining trading signals. In addition, the chart does illustrate support and resistance levels, which could be used to lock in profits. On Wednesday, there are no important events or reports for UK, but there will be important reports in the US and also a speech from Powell. Therefore, volatility and trend movement could be quite strong today. The most popular euro-dollar pair. The forecast is made by Laurie Bailey. Yesterday, the euro tried to return to the area above the upper limit of the global range, 1.0360. But it closed the day by falling 9 pips. As a result, technically, nothing has changed even on the lower time frames. Like yesterday, the price under pressure due to divergence on the daily chart is trying to reach the target level of 1.0205. The stock indices closed yesterday mixed, but mostly in the red zone. The probability of the Federal Reserve rate hike by 0.75 basis points at the December meeting is at 15%. Also, market participants are tuning in the good employment data on Friday. The non-farm payrolls forecast is 200,000. The yields on the US government bonds continue to climb slowly. On the 4-hour chart, the price continues to struggle with the balance indicator line. It marks as a red wavy line. When the price settles below the line, it will indicate the bear's victory and a change in a short-term balance of power. In this case, the Marlin oscillator signals line staying in the negative area helps the bears. We expect price to reach the target level of 1.0205. That's all for today. See you next time. Good luck.